Hi everyone, it's Heidi. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based here in the Midlands, in the South Warwickshire. And today I'm going to show you a project using the lovely Under My Umbrella bundle from the new catalogue. So it's a stamp and punch set, really useful, great for quick projects, and it's gorgeous. Under My Umbrella. As you can see, you've got a sort of open umbrella, partly open, all the little accents. I'm using quite simply the open umbrella and the sentiment on and the snowdrops and the raindrops on this project. So here you go. This is my card. So it's a bit of a rainbow card, and it says, "No matter the weather, we're friends forever." And as you can see, just with some lovely stamped and punched umbrellas on there. So that's what we're going to do. It's a great project for using those little scraps of card. I never throw a card away, so this is a great time to grab out those bits, and here you'll see I've got some of those pieces to hand. So I've mounted up my block. I'm using some Memento black ink, and I've used some smoky slate as well, and a sponge dauber. So the first thing I'm going to do is stamp and punch my umbrellas. So just pop those, make sure you ink it up well, and sometimes with a photopolymer, the first time of use, you'll need to just sort of clean it off. There's a little bit of residue. Pop it down near the bottom edge of your piece of card. That just saves the waste, as you can see here, and you're not going to get too much waste on those. I've just flipped it over so it's easy for me to have something to hold on to when I pop it in the punch. So I've just taken a scrap of different colours. These are all in the subtles range, and it doesn't mean you've got to go out and buy a pack of every single colour, because Stampin' Up! Do those fabulous mixed packs for all of the colour families. So you just get a couple of sheets of each of the colours in the pack, which is great when you're starting out. And I use it even now. There are some colours I don't use very often, so actually rather than buy a great big pack, if there's 2 or 3 of those colours, I'll buy a multi-pack. Then pop it into your punch, and by stamping near the bottom edge of the card, you can see you're not getting much wastage. So just punch that out. I just realised I haven't done my Highland Heather one. And I've just kind of followed a vague kind of rainbow kind of colour. So that's sort of red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, kind of classic 7 colours. But obviously if you wanted to add more in to have the complete subtles range, then you could. And likewise, you could mix and match it from the other colours that Stampin' Up! Do as well, to give a kind of a truer rainbow. But I just wanted to show you how, versatile this is, using those just at one of those colour cardstock packs that we've got. Just doing my last umbrella. Now for those handles, there is a stamp in the stamp set for the handles, but I decided actually, it was just as easy to just punch them out quite simply from basic black. And for that, all I did was I just grabbed a long thin bit of my scraps, pop it in on the side there and punch, and then I flipped it over. So I got another one. So as you can see, very quick and easy to punch those out. So pop that away. I'll leave that in for my sentiment in a minute. So that's the stamping and punching for our accents. And what I'm going to do is actually shape those. Now, shaping, there are lots of ways you can do it. You can use a ball tool. You can use, and that kind of gives definition, but it gives, unless you've got a big-headed one. I mean, I tried it with our Stampin' Up! One using the large head. You can do it, but it takes a bit of work. The easiest way I find to do it is I literally take the reverse end of my scissors, I pop the umbrella in my hand, and I just shape it like that. And that just gives it a nice curve. Now, you could leave them flat if you wanted to. But I just think it just gives them a little bit more sort of reality and dimension to add those curves. And I'm doing this bit first because when I add the handles, they're just going to need a few moments for the glue to adhere to those. So as you can see, all it does is it just gives it a bit of a curve. So no real definition, but obviously you could. You could also do this obviously using our DSP, Designer Series paper as well. So I've got all my umbrellas. Let's pop those, lay those out. And I've punched all my little handles. And then what I'm going to do is just pop some glue on the end. And then pop that in the middle. This is sort of the fiddliest bit, as much as anything, trying to line it up. I mean, I'm a bit wonky at the best of times, but I get the feeling this glue is almost empty. As I said, you know, this is the kind of fiddliest bit, and you could do it without, you know, is the answer. You know, you don't have to put the handles on. I just think it makes it look a little bit more realistic. I mean, this does remind me of a lovely display I saw in France last year while we were on holiday, where they've done it in several places out in France, where above the streets they've hung different coloured umbrellas. I'll try and find the photo and pop it on my blog. So you kind of walk under this lovely canopy of like a rainbow of umbrellas. And it was so pretty. I say that they've done it, I think it might have started down maybe in Carcassonne, but all over France they have these. I'll try and show the picture, because it was so pretty. And so when I saw this umbrella set, I thought, oh gosh, you know, that reminded me of that sort of rainbow of umbrellas, which I just thought was so pretty. So there we have our rainbow, our umbrellas. So I'm going to pop those just to one side for a moment to dry. Wet glue, I tend to use things like this, just because it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. I've already cut a standard card base, so that's 5 3/4 by 4 1/8 here in the by 8 1/4 here in the UK, scored at 4 1/8, or 14.5 by 21 centimetres, and I'm just going to score that at 10.5, like so. Okay. You are going to need a couple of post-it notes, and what I've done with the post-it notes is to try and get a reasonably straight line. What I do is I tend to line up on one of our grid lines, and then just try and kind of overlap that and keep it nice and straight. So I do 2 of those, and these are the sort of the biggest post-it notes, just because I'm not very good at keeping things straight, so anything that tries to improve that, got to be good. And then all I do is I pop my card base down, and then the idea wasn't that would happen. Okay, let's try with the other one. So I square it up on our grid paper, then I pop it down, lining up those 2 edges. So hopefully we're reasonably straight, which we're not, but hey, there we go. Never mind, best laid plans and all that. And then I popped it on. So there's around about an inch, I guess, between these 2 lines. Okay, I'm going to have to adjust that one. It's going to bug me otherwise. So there we go. And then I've got a sponge dauber, and this works fine. Sponge, because I wanted to kind of get the effect of sort of a grey sky and clouds. Just with your dauber, add some ink, and then just come in very gently from the edge, kind of just in little circle motions, and really nice and gently. Don't press too hard, and that way you shouldn't get, I say you won't because you will, you shouldn't get too many kind of strong lines. And it just kind of gives that, because of the circles, to me it just gave that sense of clouds as well. So it's not a solid colour, and just over the edges. Okay, I've fact, I might have made my other one a bit bigger actually, maybe 1.5 inches. Okay, so you've then got this kind of grey scene. I'm going to come in with my raindrops and pop those raindrops all over. And if, as I have done, because of the sort of offset nature of this, it's really easy to get us to a random pattern. And I'm just going to leave slight gap at the top there for my sentiment, but just come down into that, smudging. So we'll just pop small raindrops down there to kind of cover it up. And that's all you need to do. Pop your ink away. It's a juicy ink pad, that one. It's a fairly new one. And then let's come in with our sentiment. Again, which I've just done in basic black. So pop that in. And if ever you stamp something like that and it isn't quite straight, easiest way, stamp it again on a scrap bit of card, layer it up, pop it on, or either that or pop it on a piece of white and punch it out. So always easy. Once you've done that, our umbrellas should be fairly stuck by now, but just to make sure, all I'm doing is popping a single dimensional in the middle there. So I'm using the dimensional to just make sure that that umbrella is fully adhered. Such a messy crafter. You don't want to see my crafter, and believe me, it is so, yeah. But never mind, hey. Yeah. Creative and all that. So then just add your umbrellas. And the first one I actually put slightly off the card, like so. So that's our kind of pink is our sort of red. And pop our yellow in. And again, you know, if you want to sort of be more precise about this, you can. But by being sort of a little bit more random, then it kind of gives a chaos effect. There we go. And with this one, I'm just trying to randomise the direction of my umbrellas a little bit more. And the final one, my Highland heather, can just pop in that gap there. Okay, so we've now got our card, as you can see, sticking out very slightly. Easiest thing in the world with this though, just flip our card over and using our snips, just pop those away. So there we have a couple of lovely umbrella cards, rainbow of umbrellas, perfect for a friend. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy making this, and if you'd like to purchase any of the products that you've seen today, pop along to my blog at flutterbyheidi.co.uk and you'll see the links to the products, or go along to my direct to my Stampin' Up shop, heidismith.stampinup.net. There's a link that says shop. Click on there and it'll take you to all of those gorgeous products. So thanks for watching. Come back and see me again soon. Bye now.